Hello. We're starting the live streaming. Okay. Okay, let's start with this live streaming. It's really. Let's see where we at. So I haven't written a single line of code of Ross before. So this time we are going. I'm trying to build LLM from scratch using Rust without any Rust experience. So the first rule is that we are not going to use AI at all. We are just going to use the the old way, the documentation, Stack Overflow, and yeah, just are the bugging expertise. And yeah, mainly because like this is a fun experience and I really want to learn this from scratch, and I wanted to understand and have a clear mindset of how things work. And I cannot think in any other way than going back to 2015 when we didn't use any of these available AI tools right now that can do everything for us. So if we have a good mindset, we might understand better things and doing things in a more, I don't know, like with a deeper understanding on what we are doing. So yeah, let's see what we have so far. What we are doing, oh, this should, okay, let's see what we have so far. We are using the standard libraries, and we are using, let's pull this off. Okay, we are using the standard libraries to using regex, and we are defining a function that allows to split based on to split a string based on the regex. And here this is our main function, and what we are doing here is that we are defining a variable where we are going to store everything that we have in the in a txt file. And then from that file we count the number of characters that we have in that file, and from that we use these to print to print a subsample of this text. And from that text we create this regular expression that we already defined, and we create this function that allows to trim the empty character or the empty characters that we have in our string. So this, let's see how it works. Cargo run. Yeah, so essentially what we are doing here is that we are running a Rust file that prints these characters and store everything into a list and count the number of tokens that we have here. One thing that I understood when we on the previous video is that this we are essentially storing into a vector string. So this vector string, what it means is that we have, it's like a Python list where you have string 1, string 2, and so on. So these are a vector. Python calls it strings or lists, and in those lists we have a bunch of strings. So essentially this is what we are doing. This pre-process is just a vector of strings, and that's really important, because what we want is we want to replicate what we did in the what Sebastian Rashka did in his second chapter of his book. So yeah, let me go over on the things that we want. Okay, so we did this, we generated a regular expression, that's good. We are also able to process, and we are, yeah, I mean there are some difference, right? There are some difference between where is it? Just wait a second, guys. Let me find where is it. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, I mean, hmm. Yeah, so there are some difference. I don't know why we have almost 84 less token usage with this approach. I don't know if I did something different or if I did something wrong. I'm not really sure, but I don't want to spend a lot of time debugging this just for few cases. I think we can go back. Perhaps we can go back at a later stage to see what's going on or what happened here. But to be honest, I don't have the energy or yeah, let's try to move on and see if we can replicate this tokenizer, which I really want, and I'm really excited to pass into the machine learning part, to be honest with you guys. Okay, so now we already have this into a vector string, right? And we count the number of strings in the vector, right? So we are 2.3. Okay, so this is converting tokens into token IDs. So what we are doing is we have the input text, and from that input text we transfer into a number or a token ID, and we want to count the number of unique tokens. So yeah, because texts are, I mean, it doesn't have the unique number of tokens. It has a bunch of different tokens that you can process, right? Because you have the several times in your file, so we don't really want that. I mean, we just want unique, because that makes easy for everyone to use, right? Okay, so the first thing is we want to have the unique, and we want to have a sorted. Okay, let's try to do that in Rust. So we have a vector string, and we want to get the unique strings, and so yeah. Okay, so how can we do that in Rust? I mean, yeah, we want to do this in Rust, so let's try to find out how. Okay, let's search how to find unique string. Yeah, we cannot use AI, so yeah, I already did this live streaming, but the audio didn't work, so we just need to do it again. Yeah. Okay, so let me see this documentation. So better way to find unique values. I wrote a function. So this Justin says I wrote a function that takes as input a vector of structs and return a vector of unique strings. Yeah, so this guy did the same thing for this vector, which is course requirement, and it would be output a vector string. Okay, so this guy is saying, okay, you can use the hash set, collect hash set. Okay, I don't know if I like that answer. Main thing is it looks too specific to something that he was working on. I don't know, and I don't like this type of answer that doesn't have everything, because maybe you are new to this language and you need to import things that you don't really know, or where this hash set came from. So I don't really like those type of answers. Let's see this Stack Overflow. See, okay, this is R. I don't want to go to R. Reddit sometimes have great answers. Yeah, but this is not a great answer. Okay. Okay, so this is another answer. Okay, it's too long. Vectors Easy Rust. I love Easy Rust. Yeah, but it has a bunch of examples, but no one really do the trick. I like that you can actually run things in your documentation. That's pretty cool and unique. I don't know how many documentations can have that. Like, okay, okay, let's see this code review section. I didn't know that this exists, to be honest. Okay, but it says I have the following code, which how do I get unique list of value from a hash map in Rust? Okay, so it says I have the following code, which finds all unique values from a hash map of string to vec. I cobble it together eventually as I was getting various borrow errors along the way. But it looks a mess to me, and I'm looking for more idiomatic way of doing it in Rust. Okay, so this guy was able to do the trick, but he wants some idiomatic way of doing it, or yeah, in my eyes, an easier way to do it. Okay, so you have this guy, which was the selected answer. Okay, this was a selected answer, but I'm thinking that it's too long. To be honest with you, it is too long. Why so long, man? Is there any other answer that we can use? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, this could work, but I don't like it because it's too specific. Yeah, this is also too specific. Okay, so yeah, I'm trying to see if we can use this GitHub stuff. Uh, yeah, so just wait a second for me. Let me do something real quick so we can. Wait a second. Okay, I'm back. I'm so back. Okay, yeah. So I don't really like this app. So let me. I don't like this answer either. We can try this. Yeah, yeah. One thing that I like about Rust is that it has this Rust playground, which is really useful, at least for me. Yeah, I have a previous solution here. So let's. Okay. So let's try to go over through what this solution does. Okay, so is using this from the standard library. So this collection, and it got hash map and hash set. So it creates a new variable using let, and this keyword allows to mutate this variable. And inferring this, I don't really know. If I have I probably have some mistakes here, but yeah, that's part of how we want to learn, right? Okay, so now we are defining hash map. So this my map will have this structure, which will be a hash map which will be a string and a vector string, and this is hash map new. So we are defining this hash map, and then we are inserting into this hash map. Okay. Yeah, so hash map in Python is like a dictionary when you map a key with a value, kinda, right? So yeah, and I think that's what he, yeah, but he, like this solution did a different thing. So now that you have the hash map or a dictionary, you use let to define a new variable which will be a vector string, which exactly what we have. So we do want to have that, and then flag this out, so they convert it back into a string rather than a hash map, right? So we don't really need this, and then they print it, which you can see right here, right? But it has duplicates. So what we want is to have the same thing but without duplicates. So we create a new variable which will be hash map string, and it will be a hash set. In Python would be like a set, but you don't have duplicates, so it just whip out any duplicates from your list, and it iterates over the x. So this is kind of like a loop, then it creates this mutation. Okay, so one thing that I want to do, let's make sure we don't have the AI helping us out. So we are already at this stage because we already have this string, we have the vector string. So let's start to define this. Let y hash, okay, but we need to import it, right? Yeah, let's import it, use std collections, then hash map. Hash map and hash set. Okay, that works. Hash set. Okay, we're putting the hash set. So this is telling me the structure of this variable. In this case, will be a hash set of strings. Will be equal to hash set from either. It's either. Okay. Now, okay, we use let and we allow mutation and we iterate over this, and then yeah, and we, okay, I think we can copy and paste this and you get the idea. But one thing that is really curious about is that you can, or when I was starting to learn, I think any programming language is that you want to copy as much as possible by hand, because that will give you a mental framework on what you do or what you need to do, and that mental framework allows you to actually build your stuff. Like copying a lot of times, it will give you the mental framework and the mental structure to actually build for yourself eventually with enough practice. I don't know if that makes sense, but I mean, it's just repeating. And if you repeat it yourself a lot and copy from other places, you will master the skill. So, okay. Let's start by doing, let's just run. Let's just category run. Okay, didn't work. Let's see why it didn't work. Okay, so I did this category run, cannot find value x. Oh yeah, because I'm in the value x, so it should be pre-processed, which is the one that we define here. X was from the example, so this should work now. Okay, it was another error. Let's say what it says. Hash map unused. So okay, so yeah, since the exercise was using hash map to create the dictionary or to create a hash map, but we don't is complaining about we are not using this and we are plotting why in nerd we're doing that, we shouldn't do that, and just yeah, just remove it. Yeah, I like to run this a lot because I don't know, man. I mean it has cleaner errors. Okay, so it says mismatch. Let y, which we are defining here, y hash set expected due to this. Okay, so we are expecting that y is this output, a hash set of string, and instead we have a hash set of str. What would be the difference between str and string? I don't know, and I want to look that up because why? So in Rust, what's the difference between? Oh yeah, the second question. Let me see the documentation. 12 years. Yeah, looks like a great answer. Okay, why does Rust have both strings and str? What are the difference between them, and when should one be used over the other? Is one of them getting duplicated? Yeah, I don't think so because it was 12 years ago. Yeah, thumbs up because I like the question because it's the same question I have. So string is a dynamic heap string type like bet. Use it when you need to own or modify your string data. str is a mutable sequence of UT if a bytes of dynamic length somewhere in memory. Since the size is unknown, one can only handle behind a pointer. This means that strings most commonly appears as reference to some UTF-8 data, normally called a string slice or just slice. A slice is just a view onto some data, and that data can be anywhere. In static storage, a string literally foo is a static string. The data is hard-coded into the executable and loaded into memory when the program runs. Inside the heap allocated string difference to a str view of the string's data. The following creates a stack allocated by array and then gets a view of the data stream. Okay, use str. In summary, use strings you need own string data like passing strings to other threads or building them at runtime. And use str if you only need a view of string. I think we only need a view of string, so I think this is really appropriate, and we are not really changing the string. So yeah, what I understood here is that string is when you do want to change the string of the data for some reason, or at runtime, or building them at runtime, but you use str if you only need to view the string, which is kind of what we try to do right here. So I think we made the right decision of using str at the beginning, and I think we defined it somewhere, or it was by default. I think it was by default, right? Yeah, yeah. I think it was by default. I don't know. Okay, yeah, here. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense to me, but let's put str. Let's put str, curve around. Okay, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? There is a mismatch type. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because, okay, so there is a mismatch type. So I'm putting an string and it should be, okay. Yeah, okay, so yeah, so yeah, I should put this together, carry around. Yeah, it should work. It does work. But what happened if I, okay, so maybe I'm like, I don't know, maybe I'm accessing into this with with two of these symbol, and yeah, I was able to iterate, and this is actually ordered, so it's already sorted. Okay, so how we, from the vector string, and we want to get unique string and sorted. So the way we do this in Rust is that we define a variable. It can be y or it can be anything, and we pass it into hash sets of strings that we have here, and then these hash sets are created iterating over the vector string, and that vector string gets collected, iterated over the hash set, and then we sort this out, and then we print it. That's how we get the unique strings from a vector of strings in Rust. So yeah, pretty cool, right? Very good. I like this answer. So let me, yeah, not that you don't, not that you need it, but yeah, 12 years ago. I mean, impressive. Okay, let me see what Sebastian did. Okay, so Sebastian used this order, and then okay, the length. We want the length of the bucket size. Yeah. Let me, okay, so let's define the variable let. Okay, yeah. We are getting suggestions. I want suggestions from the AI. I want suggestions from the AI. Okay, so yeah, let's put bucket size. Let's put bucket size and then use a, then length, right? And from that length. So yeah, from we define the bucket size to be an integer. Maybe I can put this. And from that bucket size we pass into bucket size. Let's run it again. Yeah, I was trying to put integer because that's, you know, that's what I understood that this was doing. We are just saying what's the expected output will be. Perhaps you intend this I32. Yeah, I mean, if you say so, I don't know. Okay, a U size too. Okay, let me see what he, well, okay, we did this U size. Let's, perhaps you should use that. Oh yeah, yeah, for this is a same. Okay, so it's 28 bucket size off. I don't know why, but we are close enough for calling a day, you know. I don't want to change that, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, we get into this part. Let me summarize a bit. So we did a lot of great stuff. We started with a vector of strings, and to convert that vector of strings into a sorted array of unique strings, so we can prepare a vocabulary for our LLM. The first thing that we did is that we convert that into a hash set, so we have the unique the unique words into our sample or into our vocabulary, and then we sort that vocabulary so we can have another an order set of words, of unique words, and then we count how many do we have. So in this case it's 1158 unique words. So I think it's decent, right? It's pretty decent. So the next thing that he did here was to create a vocabulary, then the token, okay, from enumerating all words. So he created a loop for integer in token so yeah, enumerate create what it does is that enumerates all these words, but also iterates as a tuple. So you have the integer that it will be from 0 to the size of the all words, and then the token, which would be the actual word. So what I want to do here, yeah, so what I want to do here is I want to iterate over each one and assign, okay, let me iterate over each word of the vector and assign a number based on assign number based on assign a number based on the, yeah, based on the position, basically. Yeah, so that's what I want to do. If we did something like that, like this, no, I mean, we haven't created a for loop until, like, this is a for loop, right? We didn't create it, but let's try this out. Perhaps we can put for, I don't know, I mean, let's how to iterate over a vector in Rust. Okay, how to iterate over a vector without moving it. Let's check this out. Let's see how he did it. I believe methods you are looking for are iter and or iter mode. So your code will look like the following. Alternative back and back both have into iterator implementations. We return the iterator provided by iter or iter mode respectively. So the following is also equivalent to the above. Okay, let me see what this does. So now is what yeah, I like the answers that are self-contained and they're not that specific. Let me see if we can find it from. Okay, let's close this up, close this up, close this up. Okay, so I have so many tabs open. How to iterate or vector in Rust. Okay, for and range. The for in construct can be used to iterate through an iterator. One of the easiest ways to create an iterator is to use the range notation. These are values from A inclusive to B exclusive in a step of 1. So let's write fixed bus using for instead of while. I mean, this should work. Okay, yeah. Okay, so for n in Yeah, we can do this for n in, yeah, probably I should have a scripted name for that. Yeah, let's put this color and then we print n. Let's see if that works. I don't think it will. Oh yeah, it does work. Okay, so how can I, okay, now I know how to iterate. How do I know how to match? Okay, yeah, for name in names, yeah, yeah, we already have an iterator, but I don't know if we do want that. Okay, in the above snippet, no, type match is, that is the key difference, the type of iteration. The difference in type then of course implies different actions that are able to perform. Yeah, I don't know if I want that. Yeah, but I mean that's helpful, right? And so I want to enumerate, I want to assign a number. So yeah, so we are able to iterate over each element, but at the same time I want to map with a with a number. Yeah, so I can have the dictionary with the bucket sides. I don't know if that makes sense. I mean, there are a lot of things that we can do here. Okay, so yeah, let's ask how to iterate or method and assign a number to it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Repository fetch its elements. How to look over. Oh, okay. Yeah, I love this. What do you think? How do you think will this work? Yeah. Let's wait for a second. Yeah. I right back. Okay, okay. I'm back. I'm back. Okay. Yeah, why this is not loading? Yeah, but I don't want to see a video. Okay, it says let numbers. Okay, iter method is commonly used to create an iterator from a collection. This method is available for arrays, vector, and hash map, allowing you to traverse through the element by element. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, why do I want that if I can already iterate like this? Is there a difference? Let me see. Oh, yeah, yeah, I help us there. It shouldn't be, but it did. So it looks like, let's check this out. Oh, so each one has a number associated with. Okay. That works, right? Okay, so what I was looking for is to iterate and storing kind of as a loop and iterate over the elements. So how you do this in Rust is that you have the keyword, which is for, then you wherever you are going to pass. In this case, we are passing like a tuple, and we are iterating over each of the elements of the process data. And then we have the enumerate method that allows to build this kind of dictionary. Yes, so yeah, I mean, we already halfway there. This is what we did, right? But yeah, so I wanted, what we did is that we iterate, but it's not just about to iterate or print. I want to store it. I want to store it as a hash map, perhaps. And if we store it as a hash map, we can have this already working. And then we go to the next session. That, yeah, I mean, it was pretty impressive what we did. So today what we did is that we started with a vector of strings, and from that vector of strings we have several milestones that we want to hit. First, we wanted to build the unique words for that. For we wanted to have the unique set of words for that list, and from there we wanted to sort this out. After we sort this out, we can calculate the vocab size, and once we have the vocabulary that we have, we want to map with a token ID, and that's essentially what we did. The next step will be to store it, to have it into their own hash map, and from that hash map we can go to the next steps in what Sebastian was suggesting. Okay, so yeah, we did a lot of stuff. Okay guys, so yeah, I think we can end the stream for now, and see you guys next session. Okay, so yeah.